Hey guys, Omni here. So I finally have gotten to see Everything Everywhere All at Once. Up until this point, I know I'm late talking about this movie, but up until this week, the closest theater that was playing this was like 3 hours away. And the way things have been going on around here, making that kind of a trip to see this film was just not going to happen. But lo and behold, when I checked the listings this week to get my tickets for Fantastic Beasts 3, there were showings for this movie at my local theater. So you bet your bum I went and checked this movie out. I just got back just a little while ago from seeing this film, and it is everything that you've been hearing about. This movie is fantastic. And it's just another one of those films from A24, man, that just knocks it out of the park. Though I think this is the most opposite of what I've come to expect from A24 as a studio. This was action-packed, it was comedic, but it still had all of those thought-provoking and emotional elements that I know from this film. It definitely dives into that artistic realm and explores the multiverse as a concept in a way that I hadn't seen before. And I really thought the way they handled it was extremely interesting and engaging, especially the way that it flows into the narrative, what it means to the characters and how it accentuates the characters of the story. And the way they incorporate it into all of the action is just brilliantly done. This movie is funny, man. It is hilarious. There are so many things that just caught me off guard, but then it'll just weave right the other direction and you'll just be in tears, man. This movie is, it's just wonderful. It's an experience. It takes a little while to kind of get its gears going because it's, once this multiverse creeps in, and the mechanics of it are kind of thrown at you, it takes a little while to kind of wrap your head around it. And it doesn't really click initially. And then as it gets going, as you kind of get the idea of how it works in this setup, it starts to get moving and you're just on this ride from that point to the end of the movie. And you're just invested in these characters in this story as it centers around Michelle Yeoh, who is a laundromat owner. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a daughter. And she's just kind of stuck. She feels like she's kind of running in place. Her laundromat is being audited by the IRS. Her husband is filing for divorce. She's struggling to maintain a relationship with her daughter. Her father is constantly disappointed in her. And this is another film that touches upon generational stress and trauma, and how that carries on to the generations there within. So I'm surprised to see just how much that's being addressed here lately. And every time it's done in a different way, and it's done in a way that just hits, man. It's so gripping. But while her life is just kind of running in place, the multiverse kicks in and she's required to help save all of existence, all of reality, every reality. And what ensues is a acid trip of a film, man. An emotional roller coaster. There's some amazing action sequences in this, and so much comedy that I just did not expect. This film really has so many hats on at one time, but at the same time it balances every one of them brilliantly. This is directed by the Daniels, as they are known as a collective group. Kwan and Dan Scheinert. They also directed The Swiss Army Man, which kind of has a similar-ish tone to this, just as existential. And they did a fantastic job directing this movie. I keep saying fantastic, but this is fantastic. I'm trying to like limit how much I expose about this movie. There is some twists, there are some turns, and this thing it goes down some roads that you just don't really expect it to. You know, it touches, the way it explores the multiverse, this easily could have been a very nihilistic film. The way that, you know, our decisions, how they branch off into these infinite possibilities, how anything and everything could happen somewhere, to the point where you yourself, in the grand scheme of things, you're a speck. And it could have went the nihilistic route to kind of explore that, like, we're so small we don't really matter in the grand scheme of things kind of direction. And it just goes the other way to the point where it makes you think about your own life, your own choices, what's important to you, where your thoughts should be, and it's just beautiful, man. It's visually stunning. There's a lot of beautiful martial arts in this film. Michelle Yeoh again knocks it out of the park in that category, and the way they incorporate this concept into the fights themselves, into the action set pieces in general, into the drama in general, is it's just beautiful, man. Again, it's hard to explain. I mean, I could probably break it down, but I just don't want to. I want you guys to experience this film. I want you guys to go out there and see it. I think this is something anybody from any walk of life could understand, relate to, and feel the struggle of. It's so creative. It catches you and keeps you off guard at every turn. Like, it's every time you think you've got your feet on solid ground, something new just comes out and just slaps you off balance, and it just pulls you along for the ride. It just runs the gamut, man. I don't know. This film is literally everything, everywhere, all at once. As a movie, it takes all kinds of different... It's a genre-blending roller coaster of ideas, feelings. I cried quite a few times in it, dude. Man, it was just like... It makes you feel shit, dude. And that's what I love about certain films, man. The performances in this movie across the board are phenomenal. Michelle Yeoh is just beautiful as always, as expected, both with the action scenes and the emotional pieces and the drama throughout. Her husband is played by Huy Quan, who I personally haven't seen in a film since Temple of Doom. So you can tell how long that span has been. Very different performance, obviously, for two very different reasons, and he gives such an emotional, heartfelt, humbling performance that really connected with me. James Hong plays her father, and her daughter is played by Stephanie Sue. There's so much nuanced dynamics between all of these characters. Jamie Lee Curtis is even in here as a surprising fun role. This is just one of those films that I just thoroughly enjoyed, beginning to end. And then I'm still just kind of simmering on it, thinking about it. And I definitely think that if you have the opportunity to see this movie, you should check it out. But guys, if you've seen it, I'd love to know your thoughts. So sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join the conversation in our Discord. We could talk about it there as well. Links to that and all my socials as normal are down in the description below. Follow me on each and every one of those. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends, Manny Share, Ryan Karen, Philly Vane, Yori, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Nate Prouty, and Melita. Thank you guys as always for your continued support. And that's it for this video. I'm glad I finally got to see this movie, because I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to, because right now there's still no release date for like VOD or DVDs or anything of the sort. So I'm glad it came to my area, my neck of woods, because I was really trying to see if I could figure out a way to make that 3-hour trip, and I'm glad that I didn't have to. But guys, that's it for this one. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.